What is up, everyone? I am back again, and welcome back to another review of a WandaVision episode. This time it's episode 8, and it's gonna be a spoiler review of episode 8. Um, and this one had plenty of a lot of things going on, and it definitely set up the final episode in a big way. I think it was titled "What Happens So Far" or something like that, but it has a lot to do with how everything got to the point where it is right now, and how what the actual truth about everything, how Wanda got to the point, how everything we see everything, how she actually created the hex and or everything like that. So this will be very interesting to see now after this how everything ends up, because this this sets up the final episode 100%, and it shows everything that's happened so far, everything that's gone, and now it ends with like it really setting it up. So this episode definitely gets you into emotions a bit as well, and also gets you thinking about what's actually is gonna be, how it's gonna be, who is actually the villain here. Like, we know Agatha is a villain, but there's who actually will be the big main one in the end. Who will be said? Will it be a mixture between a lot of different ones, or will it be one certain one they're gonna bring out? But there is some small hints towards what it can actually be in this episode. So, but let's just get into this. I'm gonna try to make this really much shorter, but I'm not feeling too well. I was gonna do this on on Sunday, but I got sick and I'm still not feeling too well, but a little bit better, and I'm feeling good enough at least now to somewhat do it. So I'm sorry if this is not gonna be entirely great with all the information, but I'm gonna try to go through it as much as possible, at least as best I can. But anyways, we start off this episode. We see like a flashback. We see like in the past in 1692 or 93, in Salem, Massachusetts, I think it was, or Michigan, one of those two. I don't remember exactly what, but during the Salem witch trials back in the day, where a lot of women were accused of being witches, and some of them were killed, and some of them were in prison and stuff like that because of the stuff. An actual event that happened. Many of those women were hanged. Some of them were. I'm not gonna go into gruesome details. You know, YouTubers, but you know that stuff. You can read up on it. It's an actual event, but we see Agatha though in this. We see her. She has been tied up to some. She's being brought in. She's being tied up to like some kind of big stake or some pole by other witches. She's not actually being accused of being a witch, but she's being accused of using magic that is not yet. Should I say? How should I say? That is not yet ready for her, like at her level. She's not at that level of power as that magic is supposed to be, as that magic is. So she's using it illegally in some type of way, breaking the rules and using that magic. And we see some other like witches are standing around and they're trying to like kill her or someone. They're trying to because she's using this, because she's getting way too powerful using this dark magic. And this is definitely you're definitely alluding to the chaos magic here 100%, because this is that real dark powerful magic that is really like much stronger than any other magic, and they don't want her to be doing that. And we see one of them is actually Agatha's mother, and she's like this head witch, and she's like the leader of it all. And they all try to like summon something or try to do something. They say Morse, remember, Morris mantra natur or something like that. I think it's pronounced like that. They're trying to put up some spell like that, either to summon someone to try to kill her, or maybe that's a spell for them to kill. Because that's a Roman translation, goes out to like the Roman goddess of death, or whatever, god of death, agony and death. And that's this depiction of it's a depiction of like a with that has like a scythe or something going on. So that's like an almost like the Grim Reaper in some type of way. But she's supposed to be depicted as death, and mantra means a monster, and natural means natural. So it's like maybe they're trying to say that she's naturally a monster, or she's becoming a monster because she's using these powers, or they're just trying to summon this this type of monster, this lady of death, to kill her. But it backfires. It backfires. The power that she uses, the dark magic she uses, is too strong, and she ends up killing all the other ones, even her own mother. She kills them with that um chaos magic, or whatever. Not the chaos. She doesn't have chaos, but the darker magic that alludes that almost is, but it's not fully that there yet. She uses this dark magic, and she goes like she kills them off. Like she sends it back to them. And we see that the brooch that Agatha has is actually from her mother. She is the one who wore it first, so she gets that brooch from her. Um, but we can see then definitely here that Agatha is really strong, and with this power, that we can see that she is definitely over the hundreds of years that she's definitely built herself up more and more in a way, and gotten stronger and stronger. Though in the recent 100 years, she maybe has fallen down a little bit of it, because so then we cut back to um, Agatha and Wanda in the basement, and Agatha is trying to explain to Wanda everything, how everything that she is and why she wants everything. Like she's a witch, and she's wondering how can Wanda be doing these type of things, doing this, having this chaos magic. She wants to know how Wanda does it. And she doesn't fully believe first that Wanda is a witch. She thinks she got this magic from the Infinity Stone, which is not fully the case, which we'll get to. Um, so, but she actually thinks maybe doesn't want to know anything about these symbols, and goes around and asks for that. We see one symbol that kind of looks like Magneto's helmet, or like the M from Magneto. So that could be a small hint towards maybe Magneto being Wanda's father in this, and the Maximoffs aren't really her parents. It will be actually Magneto. That's the case in the comics in a way. So possibly that that can be the case here as well. We will just have to wait and see. Maybe he's the big cameo, maybe somebody else, but we'll just have to wait and see where they go with that. But but we see that how Agatha has really trying to bring her powers out. What her goal is really. She kind of explains that. Um. But we see her talking to the rabbit as well. It kind of feels like the rabbit is talking to her back a little bit. And we mentioned before, there's some theory before going on that this could maybe be a person as well. Maybe it's her son, Nicholas Scratch. It could be him. That could be him in there, like transformed to one. Maybe she'll try to bring him back as well to like normal form. Like I don't want to say human form, because I don't know if they're not really fully, but whatever. But just human looking form at least. There's some other theories going around that maybe that could be Doctor Strange, or somebody else like that. Like I don't know, or some other big magical person. But I don't know exactly if that's even the case. But it could be the way. Maybe. But then we see Wanda really, like, Wanda tries to they're off, but we see that Agatha really has that strong power, and we see that she wants to go back and look back how Wanda actually got this strong, and Wanda actually is the source of her powers. So she takes Wanda back in some kind of like a look back to her past or her flashbacks with her magic. Um, she takes her first. She takes her back to the moment when she was small, when she was like a kid, when she lived back in Sokovia with Pietro and her parents, and we see that they're gonna be looking at some sitcoms. This is the we'll get to this is the moment where her parents dies, but we'll get there in a second. But we see that her dad wants to sell these DVDs to get money and stuff like that, so they can maybe move out. I believe move away from Sokovia, move away from the war. And we see that they're trying to get away from their accents as well, which is a little fun thing. That's a little play on Marvel making fun of themselves and also kind of explaining why Wanda's accent went away after Civil War as well. So that's a little fun thing there. But we see that it's Wanda's turn to pick which show they're gonna watch, and she picks the Dick Van Dyke Show. And we can see while they're watching it, we can see that everything that happens in the episode, which is based around the Dick Van Dyke setting, I think was the sorry, I think it was the second episode, I believe. I think so at least. I could be wrong. Maybe it's the first, but one of the first two episodes. We see the thing with them starting lying in separate beds as well. We see Dick Van Dyke in this one laying in this bed, their bed separately, and all the other stuff like that's going on. And it's a little fun, interesting moment. Now we see why she got into why everything was created around the sitcom, because she watched so many sitcoms in the past. So that's why she created that. She felt like that was a perfect reality, maybe. But then we see that the big missile or something hits their home with a big explosion, and that's the thing that kills their parents, her and Pietro's parents. Pietro is also there. But through this, we see in this we see that Wanda has actually gone into her younger self. She's actually taken the place of a younger self there to see through her younger self's eyes. That's actually what's going on here, and we we see that they're stuck like they're underneath a table or something, and we see the big missile is like launched into the ground, and it's like beeping red and stuff, and we see it stands on the side. It says Stark Industries, and this is what Wanda and Pietro were telling Ultron in Age of Ultron, of course, what happened to their parents, and why this is why they wanted to get revenge on Tony Stark because of this incident, because of this missile. And we see here that Wanda kind of we see that there's the Dick Van Dyke show is still going on the TV, and we see it's kind of mimicking exactly. It's like exactly what's happening in the real life is happening in the show. It's like a little coincidence there. The same kind of setting is going on, and that's a little fun thing. It's like the thing is like it's a nightmare, or it's like all the stress and all that stuff, and that's exactly what's going on for them. Her and Pietro. But after this, we see that Agatha says like, let's say, she still feels like this is not enough. She still feels like, yeah, now Agatha fully sees like that. Okay, Wanda actually had powers before she got in touch with the Infinity Stone. She actually has something that was inside of her, dormant inside of her before that. So maybe there's something more to this than we thought before, and definitely there is, because she wants to know this power. She wants to know where this power comes from, and what this chaos magic is really from. As we know in the comics, we know that that Wanda gets this chaos power from the old an ancient god that is called Chiffon. Back in long past that before he was defeated, um, he was like earlier he was before he was defeated. He put he kind of puts like touch one, kind of get in touch with Wanda, and actually left some of his power, his chaos magic in Wanda. So this is maybe the chaos magic that had been dormant, that laying inside of her, and it could have possibly been activated by the Infinity Stone, by the Mind Stone, which I'll get to in a minute. Um, but that's probably how she actually has her powers, and not fully only from the Infinity Stone. This is actually how she has been able to have these powers from Chiffon. Um, and we see that now that Agatha is really feeling scared, actually, after hundreds of years, she's not actually gotten, like, you see that her magic maybe is not really the strongest one that she thought there's something stronger, and she's kind of feeling scared about what's actually this power is coming from. What is this? She's unsure of how if she will be able to handle this if it doesn't go her way. Is That's one theory, or she is just really bad and evil, and she feels like she just feels jealousy, or maybe feels angry that she doesn't have that power that Wanda has. She wants to be the most powerful one, but she sees that somebody else has even bigger power than she has, and she wants to reach that power as well. So that's why maybe she's maybe trying to bring back Chiffon or something to actually maybe achieve that power herself in some type of way. Maybe he will be the one. Maybe there's a mixture of him, Mephisto, and Nightmare or something all in one. There's gonna be some type of character or something. That's some theories that are going around that maybe that's the case. But that's a little bit of a possibility there. But anyways, then we see that Agatha wants to see more what this is coming from. She takes Wanda back to the point when she gets her powers. Because we see that like let me see. We see that maybe there's a hint towards that maybe Wanda is a Nexus beam, like somebody that can keeps In's power in some way. So that's maybe was like a hint towards the past episodes commercial there with the Nexus. So so that's why we could see that kind of here. That's why her powers have been kept in. But she takes it to this old to the Hydra base where this all took down, and she gets into her kind of her old self. And we see that's probably a scientist, and probably someone that is Baron von Strucker. It's a different actor, but I'm pretty sure it is him. It's supposed to be him. He has the glasses on and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be him. Or at least somebody that's in the same prosperity or something like that. But I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be him at least. And they are doing these experiments on all these people. They say that many people that have been coming in contact so far with the power of the Infinity, they have died. So now the next one up is Wanda, and she gets to present herself, and she goes in there. We see that she goes in there, but when she gets close to this Infinity Stone, we see that it's kind of floats up to her. It still is blue. It comes out of the scepter is there. Loki's scepter is there. It flows out of the scepter, and it's like shining blue at first. And it's almost like it has some type of connection with her, or maybe speaking to her, or feeling her in some type of way. But then we suddenly see it bursting up. It bursts aside, and we can finally see the actual Infinity Stone there, like the Mind Stone, yellowish or whatever color it is. But instead of like actually fully bursting, it like stops. It gets hindered, and it's get hindered by physical representation. Like we see one that looks ahead of her, and we see someone that looks like with long hair, looks like have this kind of Scarlet Witch outfit on. It pretty much get hindered by the Scarlet Witch from actually hinder one. The powers inside of one, that the actual Scarlet Witch inside of Wanda, you know, the powers that make her the Scarlet Witch, they kind of stop the Infinity Stone from kind of hurting her. And that's kind of what that the like the sudden impact or the sudden attack from the Infinity, that's what triggers those inner powers that Wanda's had inside, and that kind of brings them out fully in full power again. Uh, and but that just happens for her inside of her. She's the only one who sees all this, because we see that Strucker and the other guy, they don't actually see it. For them, it's just like a cut off. It's like suddenly, if one time she stands there, other time on the camera this year she's laying on the floor. So we don't see anything actually. They don't see anything actually happen. We only see that Wanda is the only one who sees it, and that just goes to show that everything of this is happening inside of it. Everything like this is the deep inside powers that she has that will make her the have that chaos magic. The chaos magic like gets brought out through this. But after that, we see her sitting in the room. We see it like when she's watching another TV, another sitcom. This time, I don't know, remember what it was this time, but like we see her sit watching something. I think maybe it was Malcolm in the Middle or something like that. But we see her watch it there, and we see Agatha speaking to one normal Wanda again. That she the other woman, normal Wanda comes back. We see her speaking to, and Agatha once again feels like this is she kind of gets now that something triggered her, but she still feels like it's not enough. She still feels that there's something there that like kind of isn't explained. She wants to know what really triggered Wanda's full power, you know, and what actually made her be able to create everything that's been created in this anomaly and all that. And that's when she brings her next to the Avengers compound, where we see like her go back into a scene where she was sitting with Vision in her room in the Avengers compound. We see she kind of feels Vision before he comes in to the room. He like phases through the wall and he comes into the room. And he then they start talking, you know, and they have this kind of really nice moment between them, and like even Agatha sheds a tear as well, and it is kind of feel like a good feeling, emotional moment a little bit. It's like a nicer thing, and we see that Vision it has become more, you know, uh, intelligent in a way. He's more human like. He's kind of gotten to learn more about emotion and compassion and all that stuff. He's gotten in this case doing that because he's been interacting with Wanda so much. That's why he was able to pick up on all that, and he's been able to learn more about human emotion, human feelings, and all that stuff. And he's kind of see a more than ever like really human like Vision in some type of way, at least the emotionally, like in at least in some type of way. From the old Vision, then you mean not the one inside of the hex, but the one outside the old like original Vision, you know. And he says also to Wanda about this. We have as a really good line. See it. What is grief if not love persevering? And that is such a good, really good, solid line. I love that, and it's really true, and really sets the tone really for this show as well, and everything that is going on. It's because it is about love. It is about love persevering. It's all about love and the power of it, and how much it really can impact one person's life, and how much it can mean, and how much it can help to have somebody there that you can love, that somebody that loves you and that you can love back in a way. How much when that love disappears, how somebody can break down, how somebody can feel so empty and and sad and alone in some type of way. So that's a really good line that they put in there, and I love that Vision got to say that, because that once again shows you more how much he has adapted with when he's been with Wanda. Um, so that's really goes to show. But then Agatha also says, like, in some way, let me see, like, she said, I don't remember exactly what she said, but she said something about her, her like losing. You had a family, but you lose. You That's the one you lost. You keep losing him. You lost him or something like that. That's the big thing. Something like that. She's trying to trigger her a little bit more. She's trying to push her a little bit more, using the fact of her losing Vision. Her desperate to kind of get close to Vision again in some way, and that takes us then to the Sword headquarters again. We cut off to back to seeing Wanda actually walking into the Sword headquarters. We see everything is pretty much the same way as it was when Monica walked in there. It's still the same screens and everything that was showing people being coming back from the after Hulk snapped again and snapped everyone back. We see everybody popping back up and people celebrating that and that all that on the screens. And in this case, Wanda tries to be more civil with as she walks in there. She talks to the person in the front desk and tries to ask him that she can if she can see Vision's body. She understands that Hayward has gotten him. She woke up. He wasn't dead. He understands. She understands that Sword has his body and they're doing something. But she also kind of means like she doesn't want to take the body away, but she just wants to get closure, right? She wants to have a proper funeral for Vision, or at least get closure with him in some type of way, so she can at least feel at ease and feel at peace. But of course, she gets denied in some type of way. So she takes it on herself and she goes in anyways. She like flings open the door and she walks in there, but she doesn't start attacking people or anything. She goes directly up to Hayward, and this is where we see that how much of a real, actual douche he is, because like, oh, this is like, oh, um this is like some legitimately douchebaggery, because he mentions like, yeah, he's trying to make a weapon out of Vision. He kind of talks about Vision like he's just some piece of technology, pretty much. He doesn't even care about Wanda's feelings or anything. He just kind of talks about like being Vision being some type of technology that he's gonna use to create weapons. And that really goes to show once again that he is a villain. Maybe not, not the most evilest of all villains like that, but he's definitely a bad guy, and he's trying to do something, he will do something, which we'll get to. But there's also some rumors going around that he could possibly be a Skrull in some way. Maybe that's what it is. It could be, because we know that there is a Secret Wars, I believe it's called, TV show coming up as well, so that can maybe tie in some way to that. Maybe there are already some bad Skrulls going around trying to do something, and we know that Hayward wants to create, at least this way, he wants to create a new weapon, maybe a new Ultron as well. And we'll see. We'll get to the end. When we get to the end, you will see the post-credit scene. You will see what I mean then, definitely. But there's some very interesting stuff going on. But after that, let me just wait. So my battery's low and low, so I need to charge it. But but after that, Buffy says that like he can see Wanda gets like forward triggered. She breaks the glass and she flies down to Vision's body when it's being like dismantled and all that. And she doesn't attack anybody. She just wants to say goodbye, pretty much. Let's see, and it's a very kind of sad moment a little bit, because she tries to feel Vision. She tries to feel him again. That's almost like a callback when she was to feel him, when she said she only feels Infinity War, I believe it was, when she said she can only feel Vision. When she touched his head, like I only feel you. this time she's trying to feel him again, but she doesn't feel anything because the Infinity Stone is gone and he's just not actually functioning at all. And yeah, and that kind of what makes her even more sad. And it's a really sad moment, really, when you see that. Actually, made me tear up a little bit. But she after that she leaves, and we see her take her car, and inside the car we see like there's a like a note or something that has a heart drawn onto it, and also it says inside it's like a map over a town, and it says it's like a for it points out for a place for a loft, and that's like a gift from Vision. That was supposed to be a gift from Vision. It says like I think let me see what it says. To grow old in V. That's what it says inside of the heart. And we see her actually take the car. She drives off to Westview. And we can see that the town actually isn't so cheery and happy in actual reality. There's a lot of financial problems going on inside that town. Many shops closing down. And many of the people, we see many of the people that are in the Hanks as well, like Norm, and we see Herb and Mrs. Hart and all those other people, and they're not looking too happy really normally. So but we also see that that the town is like really trying to be run down and stuff like that. But she goes to this old place where a house was supposed to be getting started, built up, or they started off or never got finished. And as I said, that was supposed to be the place that they were gonna build up a house and live together, or envision, but that never got to happen. So then this is what finally sets her off. The feeling of grief and anger because she lost the love of her life. She lost the person she could have lived a good and happy life with, that she wanted inside a beautiful home and stuff like that. And that's what really sets it off. She gets so angry, and that's when her inner dark power just explodes pretty much and starts expanding everything, and starts engulfing the whole town, in whole. And that's like the deep energy from inside. And we see a lot of things that like small hints like billboards and stuff like that changing up, and that are a little bit small hints towards what's happened in the show and what's going to happen, like things like something from the commercials, and a little bit so things that show like about kidnappings and stuff, because her kids got kidnapped and all that stuff as the thing takes over the whole town. And we see that the house gets built up fully, but also then something very, very interesting happens. We see some type of all normal power is like red energy, but we see some type of yellowish type energy come out of her as well, and that's the energy that creates vision, creates a new vision in a way. That's the one. That's the thing that makes Vision be able to be there inside of them and all. That's the one thing, that power creates him, and I believe that could be definitely be some dormant, some inside power that's left of the Infinity Stone that is left inside of Wanda, and that's the thing that really created. That's the thing that created Vision, because he had the Mind Stone and everything. So maybe that's why that could create him. That's why maybe she was able to somewhat create him subconsciously. I don't think that's 100% much more, but like yeah, that power, because of her feelings, because of everything, that power created a new Vision in that sense, and that could possibly be that maybe Vision actually could survive outside of this of the hex. Maybe that can mean that Vision could still be around after the show in some type of way because of that power. And maybe it will be in some type of other body, which it could be one, but we'll get to that. But it could also be in some other way. So that's a little bit of a small thing that maybe that could be the case. Um, but after that, we see directly off. We see that everything goes as normal as when it started. You know, her and Vision all good together, and they sit down, and like Vision pressed a remote, like, and you know, and then it comes back to normality again. We see like Agatha sitting up on the stage, like the audience place. Usually when there's a live audience, you know, she sits and she's being, and she's mentioning to Wanda. She says something. They have some kind of quick conversation, and she kind of says that she kind of understands now what everything has happened, how everything has happened. One, she has seen what really triggered Wanda and what she really is, and then Wanda hears her twins, her kids screaming, say for help. She runs outside, and she sees that Agatha there with magic holding them pretty much by their neck, almost trying to like choke them out or rip their or something. Almost it looks like, um, and then we get the big name drop. And finally, we hear Agatha say, "I know what you are the Scarlet Witch." And that's like, oh, finally, it feels real good to finally hear that name finally being said in the MCU. And it's official now. Yeah, she finally got the name. One that is Scarlet Witch, and that's pretty much where the episode ends, like that. And wow, that was like a big interesting ending like that. That's how they drop, and that sets up the final episode. You know, the big fight that's gonna come. But before I close off this video, there is a post-credit scene as well, and this is a pretty big one, even more major than the last one. We see that Hayward once again talking with some of his workers there, and then it's like it's ready to launch and all that. And then now we see what they were talking about, what the weapon was that they were gonna launch, and we kind of pan to the side, and we see inside like a pod or something, a full body white body, like a fully white looking, like all metal looking Vision, like a Vision's body pretty much. But it's not Vision, but it's his body. He looks exactly like Vision, fully white looking. And this is also from the comic. I think it was called White Vision or something. There's a part when he actually gets this a new body, and he's not fully himself, but still himself. And he does a lot of other things. I cannot remember exactly how it is, but it is in the comics as well. For a period of time, he does look like that in the comics. And this is probably a homage to that, and they're trying to hint towards that this is the weapon that Hayward's definitely trying to get. This could be, well, possibly be a new version of Ultron in some ways. That could be a big possibility, but also it could mean that it's some just not a normal thing that he's created that almost is like an evil version of Vision, like a bad weapon that's probably gonna go out of their control. They're probably not gonna be able to control him 100% always. In the end, he probably will like not follow their orders in the end in some type of way. That's usually how those things go. But we see that instead of an Infinity Stone, instead of the Mind Stone, we kind of see like he kind of has like a triangle formed arc reactor, almost like a mini arc reactor. It doesn't have to be, but it kind of looks like it at least. Like Tony's arc reactor in the suit. So it's like it's some type of thing that he has that powers him at least, instead of the Infinity Stone, and that's another one they will be setting up for one episode. Meaning it will be Agatha and whoever, maybe if she brings in somebody else, maybe even Pietro, probably the evil version of Pietro, probably. Then we have Wanda's created Vision, right? The vision that she created. Then we have the new evil version of Vision from Hayward. Then we also have Doctor Strange surely coming in. Billy and Tommy or Wickham and Speed, probably. Hopefully they'll be getting some action scenes as well. And then of course maybe we'll have Monica as well. We didn't see her in this episode, but she'll probably be there. I don't know exactly what happened with her, but maybe Quicksilver took her somewhere. I don't know, but she will be there as well. And we may see some other people as well. Maybe even another big cameo could be coming in, but it's definitely setting up to be an epic final battle. 100%. We'll see a lot of fighting in the next one. Hopefully, we'll be getting a really good, big, really cool conclusion to the show. It's been a wild ride. 100%. It's been so fun to be following this show. And hopefully now on Friday we can get an epic conclusion. I'm super hyped for it. I cannot wait to watch that. It's gonna be really cool. And there's rumors about that this one will be around 50 minutes long. So it will be a lot to really unpack there. So yeah. But that's gonna be pretty much it for this walkthrough of the 8th episode and spoiler review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already, and press the notification bell. And yeah, I'm sorry maybe it wasn't as like it wasn't super good. Maybe I missed some few things, but as I said, I haven't been feeling so well in the past few days. But I feel I had to do this. I've been doing this for every week, so I had to at least get this out somehow. And hopefully this is good enough. I'm sorry that if it isn't like fully great, but hey, at least it's something better than nothing. So yeah, if I missed something, leave it not in the comments below if you think I missed something. But that's pretty much at least overall what happened in the episode. You know, we got to see more about what actually, where actually Wanda's powers originate from in some type of way, and what's actually made her have those powers fully. And we also got to see some more of the extent of Agatha's powers as well. So it's definitely setting up something big in the final episode. So it's gonna be absolutely incredible. But yeah, well that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.